Here we go.
Action.
Round 4.
Round 4. I, over the weekend, so what's been working for me lately, because I've been going through some heavy stuff in therapy. Shout out to Uncle Bob. And what a dark way to start this podcast.
I'm here.
I
I'm
promise
listening.
this story ends funny.
No, but it doesn't even have to. Like, you can just be honest.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
And I've been listening, if I'm ever like freaking out, I like listen to ASMR to calm me down, right?
I love ASMR.
Love ASMR.
Yeah.
And
I've
so,
even added like subconsciously little bits of it into our episodes already.
Yes.
Did you notice that?
when I'm editing and I hear just like, and I'm like, there it is.
Yeah, I just sip my coffee and just like,
Totally.
you know, let my mouth bubbles pop for you.
Totally. I listen to ASMR when I'm like freaking out. And so I had it on Spotify on my phone, and it was sitting on my chest. I was listening to it and I was feeling better, right? And then I had to go somewhere over the weekend. So I get in the car and something happens before I get in the car that I'm crying again. And it's like nothing major. It's just like, and also I'm just a Pisces, I'm emotional. And I get in the car and I turn the car on and I'm like crying and I'm like trying to collect myself. And then I had my volume in my car all the way up and it's just mouth sounds.
No.
just so loud directly into, and let me tell you, that's the way to stop yourself from crying, because
like,
I was like
it's
just
jarring.
surrounded by like just mouth sounds, and it
Yeah.
was so scary.
Listen, I love the ASMR videos where one of my favorite channels, and I don't know what it is because it's not in English. This YouTube channel, they cook food, but it is strictly for ASMR. And so like it's the swooshes of the spatula around the bowl. It's pouring the grains of sugar into the bowl to build this cake. It's like the peeling back of the wax paper on the edge and like the soft like cuts. Literally,
Yeah.
I love it so much.
I love that. Anyway, so that was funny as anything this weekend. I was just like weeping, and then it's just like all
dude.
around me.
Yeah.
Which like made it better, because you know when you're crying about something and you're like, it was always fine.
Usually it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but you still like, there's this quote that I heard recently that, or maybe you said this. I don't know. Someone said
I
it.
just placed my hand.
But it's, the past stays present until processed. So it doesn't matter.
That wasn't me, but I wish it was.
Well, I don't know where it came from or who said it because I just don't have that type of memory log in my brain, but it makes so much sense because really, like, it doesn't matter if it's big or small to you. If you haven't processed it, that's all that matters.
Totally.
And so it's,
Wow.
you've got to process it. You got to allow yourself to feel what you feel and feel those emotions and confront those emotions. So I'm happy for you and proud of you that you did.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. It's just like, it's busy times. Fall is always busy. I
Yeah.
love fall. Fall's the best, but there's also, I have this problem with placing expectation on myself. It's similar like with like going on vacation. It's like, you're like, it has to be fun.
Right?
You know?
Yeah.
And like, I want to pack
can it just be relaxing?
Exactly. And I want to pack everything into like one.
If you're going to another location, you want to get everything that location has to offer
Totally.
in. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and like especially with the month of October, because October is my favorite month of the entire year,
Yeah.
and I'm like, there cannot be a dull weekend in October. That was like my fear,
that's
right?
stress.
Isn't that like crazy? Like what
Yeah.
an insane pressure to put on myself. So I this past weekend was like, I need to prove to myself that it's gonna be fine if I like have a weekend in October that I'm not like.
Okay.
Socially
Right, so-
there,
right.
like, you know, or like
Yes.
able to go do stuff. So but it was great. I went for a run, and I like on both days of the weekend, which is like a new thing. I'm trying to incorporate like exercise every single day, which is so weird.
Well, good for you.
I know, right?
So-
I don't know what my deal is with
Good.
that, but
Well,
I'm
they
realizing
may.
that helps me a lot. And so
Yeah,
I'm
it
trying
releases a lot of endorphins.
it does. And I have a friend who was like, like, how do you like do that every day? And I'm like, well, simply you just become addicted to it. And but also
help.
another like foolproof tip that I found that works, at least for me, I like feel most attractive when I'm like doing stuff in the gym.
Oh.
Sometimes. Yeah. Not
lifting
most
a really heavy bar.
Yeah, like not most attractive, but I'm just like, this is really empowering.
Like, man, I wish someone could see my pecs right now.
Oh,
I wish someone,
bicep.
my traps right now are
I like
too
put
good.
down my 10-pound weight
like,
and just
oh,
start screaming.
They checking me out? Are they checking me out? I bet they are.
But yeah, so I
That's cute.
yeah, so I try to do that. But yeah, so it was nice to have like a little weekend of just like, you know what? It was a weekend in October. There's gonna be others. I feel like there's this. Maybe I just like am a workaholic and I put this pressure on myself. But I'm
having
just, like,
my Halloween party on the 29th.
Okay, I need to write that
I know.
down.
I just thought about that and I needed to tell you. I was just like, October, weekends,
I love a Halloween party.
It's a Saturday.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have this feeling lately that, because, you know, we hear about like the housing market is weird.
Bad,
there's something
horrible.
coming. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
something coming for like the stock market.
Not a
There's
buyer's
lots of-
market.
And I tend to keep decently up to date with like what's going on economically in the nation just because I'm a nerd and I'm into that stuff.
Yeah,
But
interest rates at like 8.3% or something like that.
the housing market specifically is trash right now. But I'm like... There, and not just in the sense of like the housing market, but also
The
like
economy in
technology.
Mm-hmm.
Technology, like industry is changing so much right now.
Yeah.
And like teenagers are making money online doing a podcast, like us, basically us. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
weird that there's so much just like the way to earn money is so up in the air right now. And the traditional job isn't the same as it. And having just one job doesn't pay the bills anymore. And so the point I'm making is like, this limbo can't continue forever. So I've just been very hyper aware. Hyper awareness is like the theme of the last week for me. Just like looking around being like, does everyone else see what's going on the way I see what's going on? But I'm hyper aware that something is coming. And it doesn't particularly mean it's going to be bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's just going to be, there's going to be a shift of
Right.
like colossal caliber.
Well, yeah, things can't keep going the way they have been.
Exactly.
Something's got to shift.
That's what I'm
for there
thinking.
to be either like a break or like an breakthrough.
And part of
Either
me is
way.
like, how should I prepare? You know,
right.
like what?
Like, are we growing up a garden in the back, or are we
exactly? Like, am I
burying our
learning?
gold?
Am I learning
What are we
how
doing?
to like? Am I further at learning my editing skills, or am I going to need to learn how to farm?
Dude, I've been thinking
Like,
and
how
talking
far are we
with-
gonna fall?
So I think it depends. I think what we have to focus on is what is not faltering right now. ASMR
that's
pause.
such a great outlook. And
What's
that's very
not
much my style.
But here's what it's more strategic, okay? And strategy. What areas of business are thriving right now? I feel that the content business is thriving. Entertainment is thriving. Commercials,
Yeah.
movies, TV shows, all of these things which people are using as escapes
Yep.
from their reality.
Yep.
They're still killing it. And
they
therefore, any job in that realm of work is going to be there. And I have had conversations with Drew's roommate, Grant, recently. He's been focusing more on editing and color correcting. And that's what he's been doing as freelance, and also assisting on video sets and stuff like that. He's making the most money right now that he's ever made in his entire life, editing and color correcting. And so he was talking to me, he was like, dude, you need to learn how to edit now, because there's like such a need for people
Yeah.
who need editors and who need, like, editors are getting paid so well right now.
Yeah.
There's so much
There's a
content
lot of
going
demand
out.
and a
There's so
small
much
supply.
demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so even if you are to take your understanding of Premiere or even Final Cut Pro and to like dive into it and really like because editing strictly is just clipping all of the scenes that they tell you they want together, and then you're done. Like, that is all. They're not doing special effects. You're not doing color correction. You're
Wow.
just literally placing all the puzzle pieces together for them and then handing it off.
Yeah.
And yeah, won't lie. Been thinking about it.
I don't blame you. Yeah.
I have been thinking about
It's
it.
definitely the people, like you said, exactly what you're saying is like the people who have foresight, who can understand industries and understand trends, and who can like work with that are going to be the
Yeah.
people who come out of it the most successful.
That's how stocks work.
Period.
Is people who recognize trends and there's like, this company is going to do really good, or based on how the future is headed, I think that this company is going to succeed, or our economy or our like technology in our world is heading in this direction. I think we're headed towards electric whatever cars or
Yeah.
whatever.
You invest in the electric car,
even
whatever
back
companies,
then,
yeah.
like even back like 10 years ago, people who were like, you know what, I think this electric car thing might end up catching on. Then they invest in electric cars, they invest in Tesla, and look at where they're at right now.
Dude, let me tell
Or
you.
even Apple. People who invested in Apple forever ago who were just like thought the idea was like crazy good.
Yep. Those
Look
people
where
are
they're at. They're
rolling
literally rolling.
That's the most popular company, the most
Yeah.
successful company probably in the world right now. No, I dabbled briefly in cryptocurrencies. Ooh,
Yeah.
for in 2021.
Who didn't?
Which was like my day trading era.
Yeah, dude. I have so many friends who have made millions of dollars.
Yeah, there's a
doing that.
lot of money to be made doing that. But let me tell you though, I like didn't even like I just like tapped a little tippy tap of the toe in there. Wasn't even. I traded like a couple $100 and like profited. What I'm saying is I profited a couple
Right.
$100 and reporting that on my taxes this year. The IRS, God bless them, they were like, "Where did you hear about it? How did you do?" Like they had so many questions about my darn cryptocurrency.
They're like, were you
'Cause-
loitering?
Well, and
what were you
they
doing?
probably want to like be able to like forecast. Sorry, I just
No,
hit the crap out of you. They probably want to be able to like forecast like why is this successful? What are the people who are
Right.
successful in it doing?
Right, it's
probably
also
like for
hard to
data
track.
purposes. It is hard to track.
So
yeah.
therefore,
But
they're
yeah.
probably trying really hard.
And they're probably trying to like reel in like where did all this
They're
money
trying-
come
yeah.
from? But yeah, and I'm like maybe do that for like the people who are making millions,
Right.
Not me who made $382,
Right.
Because I accidentally knew what Ethereum was. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Because Twitter told me, okay?
yeah,
I don't know.
like, I'm like, don't act like I'm the person. Like, I'm not the Jeff Bezos you need to be worried
Right,
about.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking about like that would be an interesting thing to get back into because I just think that I could have sworn in like 2020. Andrew Yang was talking about how the fourth industrial revolution is upon us. And despite what you believe, like politically, like that doesn't literally matter at all. That's just something that he said was that everything's going to be almost completely technical and completely electronic and completely.
Well, that makes sense.
right. And like all
That's
the.
scary. Are we in the third? There's been 3 industrial revolutions.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yoy. I've been out of history class for a while.
But yeah, he said that it's upon us.
I
It's
just remember
more
the
of like a
one.
technological revolution. He said-
Whatever. I remember the Industrial Revolution.
He said, "I was
like,
there.
When
I was there back in the Gilded
women were
Age."
working in the like sweat factories because the men were at war,
we need to do
and
a
the
bit.
children were working in the.
I want to do
oil
a bit where
rigs.
like I know you do know a lot about history, but
I love history.
yeah, I want to do something like I want to quiz each other on stuff that we know nothing about.
I guess it
'Cause
could
feel
be of
that
like
would be
another
so
country's
fun.
history.
That would be fun. Yeah, because I don't know anything about like makeup, so we could do like
Oh.
you could quiz me on makeup
Okay,
stuff,
yeah.
and then we could do
Or like, what is this?
yeah, that would
you
be
know?
that would be fun. That would be fun.
What do you think it's for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so embarrassing for me. So I've got a couple of TikToks that I want
Oh, yay.
to show you.
It's been a minute since we've talked.
It has been a minute since we've. That one made my soul leave my body. So first and foremost, we've got just a nice little.
Oh! Oh my gosh, it didn't even catch that. Morgan's excited for this TikTok that we're about to see.
The way it flung open like that. Okay, there's
And
a
the
reason there's
placement.
a locking mechanism.
Wow.
The placement. If I hit your knee one more time, I'm just reflex checking Abby.
Oh man, I don't have any. Every time I'm just like a dead leg.
Okay, so
Okay. Are you already screen recorded them? I love it.
I saved them. What can I say?
Yes, you're
Okay.
ready and prepared.
Listen, don't. Okay, there we go. Now we turn the sound on. I'm trying to make this easy for editing, Morgan. Okay. This is a dog.
Is he gonna fart? What's he gonna do?
I
Is
don't
that
think you heard
it?
it. It was the fart. He farted. I think the sound was too low. This is such a mess. Let's try it again. And I'll fix it.
Hold on, wait. Just go back to the fart part. I knew the placement
12
of the,
seconds,
the
we're good.
side cheek. I was like, this is about to be something. Okay, and this is a disaster. Was that it already? Hold on.
I thought it would be so great for the pod, and it wasn't.
You know what? It was good because I watched it too many times.
We'll cut that whole
Go
thing
for it.
out.
No, this
Okay.
is the real TikTok that we're gonna watch. Okay.
Let's watch this
Okay.
grandma. We're making grilled cheese.
Do you wanna content check before you show me this?
Okay,
Do you believe in yourself?
No, I don't.
Yes, you should. Show me.
Okay. All right. So the first one didn't pan out.
You know what? I think it could.
I think it could. We'll find out. All right.
Yeah.
I saw this and I was like, we have to react to this. This is so cute.
Grilled cheese, level 1.
The quality is so nice.
It met my low expectations, yes.
Yes! Yes!
Level 2.
She's making two different levels of grilled cheese.
We're getting there.
I
love her.
She's so
Level
not the
3.
Taco Bell.
I want to be her. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
she went hard on that one.
Toasty. The taste of the bread, the mix of the cheeses. This one's for me. Sorry, you can't have it. You
so
either,
cute.
Charlie.
The did I do?
I want to. That made my mouth salivate.
She's so cute.
I want you to send me that so I can make
I
that sandwich.
certainly will. She put
Holy crud.
Man, she put everything into that grilled cheese.
I didn't think I was hungry starting this, but now.
Yeah, I know. I'm
like,
thinking about making you look at food while you're.
I mean, I
literally
just
hungry.
asked you if you wanted a tomato soup, but that would pair perfectly with the
That would
freaking
go
grilled freaking
Oh
cheese, my guy.
gosh.
Whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to eat less overall lately, which is maybe that's why I've been crying is because I'm
You've
like
been
dieting.
eating less?
Like,
What do you mean?
I'm trying to
Don't
like,
diet and not eat.
No. I've been
Okay,
eating
good.
less, like
But-
regularly, but less, because I was eating a lot before. Yeah,
But like, what's a lot?
like a lot, and like not healthy food necessarily. Like I would pick up food a lot. I would eat out a lot. I need to start making my own stuff, so I've been working on that.
Okay. As
getting
long
there.
as you're ingesting.
I am. Yeah, I had a period of time in college when I like wasn't. My depression is linked like directly with like my eating habits.
Yeah,
And
most
so
people it is,
That makes
yeah.
sense. I love how he was like, listen to this thing that happens to only me. But no.
No, but you're speaking actual like medical information that is true that people don't know
Finally,
until they go
for
to the
once,
doctor.
I'm
Yeah.
not spreading misinformation
No,
on this
you're
podcast.
right. It like matters what you put into your body.
It does.
And it matters what you do with your body, and it matters how much sun you get, and it matters. There's
does.
everything ties into
Everything
itself.
ties. Everything's connected.
Yeah. Everything's connected.
But no, I like there would be periods of time in college when I would like be in a depressive episode, which at the time I didn't know because I wasn't medicating yet, wasn't diagnosed yet, and I wouldn't be eating, and I would like see and feel the effects. And so now,
and you were in college.
I was
Were you in a
a
dorm?
senior in college. No, I had my apartment.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was that was a rough time. So now I'm like. No, I'm certainly gonna eat. It's just like, and I try to do now because they say like the best way to like do food in general is like small meals throughout the day as opposed to three
Yeah.
big meals. So that's kind of been my move lately, and I'm really
Yeah.
enjoying that. More snacking, not
Yeah,
on like
throughout the
not
day.
on necessarily on snack food, but like in more of a snacking habit, if that makes sense. Very into that.
Yeah.
But I was watching a video of a DJ earlier. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
What is this?
It's when there's back in the day, DJs used records.
Okay.
So when there's a turntable and they've got their little headphones on, you could easily transition from one song to another by like obviously you could either the record, but then also you got a whole panel of buttons. So it's like you're switching sides, like you turn this thing
from
up and
one-
it flips from one to the other.
Right.
So it's like
Yeah. Right.
whatever.
Just like
But
that.
yeah, I never have
Beatboxing on
DJ'd a
there.
day in my life, but I don't know how I know that, but I do.
I was watching. I was
What
on
did you
TikTok.
think it was?
I knew it was okay. I knew it was more than that, but I knew it wasn't more than like pushing buttons.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
yeah. So I was on TikTok.
Think of like a record player, how you can like go back and you can
Yeah.
like, because the
the
little
freaky
reader.
part makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the only part that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
rest
yeah.
of it, because I was watching this TikTok live, and this guy was like talking in the mic. He'd be like, "Hey everybody, thanks for being here tonight," and then he'd go back over and be like, and the song wouldn't sound any
Right.
different.
No,
and then,
no,
And then he'd
right.
go back in and be like, "Shout out to Mary in Washington, thanks for being on the live," and I'm like.
I wonder if he's just tweeting.
I said out loud.
He's actually just calibrated each of the buttons to be like HTLMG, like all of the letters of the alphabet, and he's actually just like tweeting.
He's just like drafting a tweet.
He's texting his mom.
And breaking to like be like, shout out,
Yo,
happy birthday,
Mom,
Sarah.
check out this sick beat I'm about to do with this button right here.
No, because what I was alone in my room and I said out loud, what is a DJ even doing? Like to no one?
Yeah, should we watch a DJ 101 video right now?
DJ 101?
DJ 101.
No.
Like a 101 on like what is going on actually.
Okay, yes, and.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. Let's look. Well, what if we Googled, like, what is a DJ even doing?
What is a DJ, like, obviously we know what they're doing, but like, what are they doing on their gadget?
Doing?
Inspector Gadget?
What is a DJ doing on stage? Very common Google search.
Yeah.
While on stage, DJs need to do all the following: beat matching, transitioning expertly from track to track, and reading a crowd to understand what is working versus what isn't.
I'm sorry, this isn't reading a crowd.
Yeah, happy birthday, Sarah. Like, that's not reading
Happy
a crowd
birthday,
either.
Sarah.
Like, okay,
where are you
and I
at in the
understand
crowd? I don't know.
That maybe I'm like roasting DJs just like in general.
Except for DJ Tanner.
And
We love DJ Tanner.
And I don't, obviously this one DJ on TikTok is not representative of what all DJs
No.
do. But I just thought it was so funny because I was thinking,
But if
and I
that
was
was
like,
your only experience of a DJ,
imagine if you were like an alien and you were like, hello human, what is a DJ? And they were like, look at this TikTok
oh my gosh,
live.
yeah,
That would be so embarrassing.
You're
for
just
the human race.
showing your alien ET has just landed in your sister's closet,
Right.
And you know y'all snacking on M&Ms.
Sure.
Y'all are sitting. You're just kind of trying to keep him quiet until your brother can come home and you can like impress him.
Totally.
And then you're on TikTok with ET and you're just talking and scrolling, and all of a sudden a DJ scrolls up and he's like, "What's going on?
What's that about? Yeah.
How do you explain
And he
that?"
points to it with his tiny little finger.
We as humans like to listen to sounds that have like repetitive signals in them that make our brain feel good. And some waves we like, some waves we don't. It just depends on the mood and the vibe. And he's like,
I'm going to
okay.
Idaho.
He's
I
like,
can't handle this. Yeah, that's too much.
he's like, I'll go hang with my pig friends, actually. Yeah, this is dumb.
But yeah, so I was like, what are DJs doing when they're standing up there pressing their little buttons? What if I just like, what if
Their
this,
little
this
buttons.
becomes like the DJ slander? I'm
Could you even like, do DJs make people mad like by pressing people's buttons?
that is such a profound question to ask.
Like, I mean, they have to. Everyone has buttons that get pressed,
That's
you
true.
know?
What's like,
But are they like pros at it?
perhaps?
Because they push buttons all the time.
I wonder, I guess the question you're posing is like, does the ability to press buttons translate to the philosophical,
Translate to them
symbolic
being
ability
very,
to-
very good at making people upset.
Are DJs just like so annoying? That's the question.
Yeah.
Are DJs just like the most annoying people
Right.
on earth? Find out live. Anyway, what's like a button that's been pushed for you lately though? Like
Oh, that is a good question.
yeah, give me a pet peeve.
A pet peeve.
That's the same thing as like a button, right?
Yeah. A pet peeve of mine is, I gotta think.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go.
I
You go
got
first.
I got you. My pet peeve. This is the one that I always have on deck because it affects me almost every single day. People who drive slow in the left lane, and that's not. Oh, we're learning something today. We're learning
No,
something.
I drive fast, but I stay in the left lane because it's easy.
Which is slightly more acceptable. Slightly
yeah,
more acceptable.
Drew thinks. Okay, question: is it illegal in the state of Tennessee? Because I know it varies per state to stay in the left lane, or is it just a passing lane? Because
Like you
I'm
said-
pretty sure that we can stay in the lane whatever we want,
It's time for
especially
a
if
Google
there's
break.
two people in the car. HOV, you know.
HOV.
But if it's not an HOV lane, it's just the left lane, is it illegal to stay in that lane in the state of Tennessee, or is it just a passing lane and you have to get over once you've passed someone?
All right.
Because I'm pretty positive. I mean, I was raised on these streets, and I may have been breaking the law for a long time.
It's the slowpoke law. It applies to Tennessee. Yeah, you can't stay in the left lane. Okay. A person shall not operate a vehicle in the passing lane except when overtaking or passing a vehicle that is in a non-passing lane.
Say that one more time slower.
That was confusing, wasn't it?
Well, I just need to process.
Yes, same. A person shall not operate a vehicle in the passing lane.
Yeah.
Except when overtaking or passing a vehicle that is in a non-passing lane.
So
does
it's
that mean? That's
the
weird.
right lane.
Yeah.
The non-passing lane is the right lane.
Tennessee law now in effect that expands the slowpoke rule. I know in Alabama you get ticketed if you're driving slow, just like staying in the left lane, right? Because in the way I see it, like
I mean,
okay,
typically I am passing people in the left lane.
right? And the way I see it, like here's what's okay with me because. Before, let me preface this by saying that I am the supreme law on driving. I know everything there is to know about driving. Clearly, this is not sarcasm. I'm okay with people who like prefer to chill in the far left lane because that's the fast lane. But then when they see someone coming up fast behind them, they get over.
Yeah, that's usually
That's like the most acceptable on the spectrum of
Yeah.
people who love to hang out.
I'm
in the
on
left
that
lane.
spectrum. That's
I
me.
respect that.
Yeah.
I love cruising in that right lane, and I love cruising fast.
You like put on cruise control?
Oh, always cruise control. Yeah, because you save gas.
Okay.
But yeah, and I love to be in that far right lane because I've found that, like, and I've know this because my father told me, and he's also the supreme,
He's the supreme.
He said that you actually get to your destination faster just chilling in the right lane and instead of weaving. Weaving, like, not only does it
Yeah,
take
I
off
guess.
more, get worse gas mileage weaving, but you also kind of slow yourself down in your own weird way, which
Yeah.
is weird. So, but yeah, and maybe it's specifically when like it's someone in a big car or like a car that isn't meant to be that fast because you're driving a car that like is like a tiny little whip thing, especially if it's like a really nice like if you're driving a sports car in the far left lane, I'm not going to say a word to you because it's a sports car. But like the way I see it is like when like a dude, specifically a dude, is just like in a massive lifted truck because we live in the South and they're in the far left lane and they don't like nothing will make them get out of that lane. I'm like, okay, either being in this lane strokes your ego and you feel important in this
Most
lane.
of the time, they've got those like super loud muffles on. Those
Oh
like
yeah. Oh yeah. Or you like don't know traffic laws, which I feel like might be even more embarrassing.
Right.
For
It's
you.
just a 16-year-old.
right.
Yeah.
So
Whose dad decked out their truck.
ooh.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. 16-year-olds.
I think that my pet peeve, and this is just like one that this might not even fall under the realm of pet peeve, but it's just something that I don't like.
Okay.
Is when people like can't just say what they're actually meaning or thinking.
When they're passive.
When they're so literally like, I just don't do it. I don't do passive aggressive. I don't do passive. Like, if you're looking at me in the eyes and your face is saying something completely different than what's coming out of your mouth, that's so much effort to like literally the words that you could just say that mean what you actually are thinking. You're choosing to waste your breath on something that is just going to make me angry.
It's got you heated. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
This is the
I'm
anger
like,
episode.
I'm
I
like,
love
are
this.
you okay?
Right.
Are you like, did I do something? Right. No. You just wasted your breath on a lie to me, and I can you're slamming cabinets. Something's going on. And if it's not me, then leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
This is therapy. We should keep going on this. We're tapping into something good here.
yeah. I don't know. Does that count as a pet peeve?
Absolutely, it does.
Okay.
I'm gonna piggyback. Another one.
Also, dirty like long fingernails on one finger. Which we all know what it's usually for, but I'm like, good grief. And if it's dirty, like if it's a
Yeah.
dirty nail,
Yep. Yeah.
nope.
In the same thread as passiveness, and this is the reason why you and I get along really well, because neither of us do this, when you haven't talked to someone in a while and then they get cordial with you. And so like, let's say I'm like I'll text you and I'll be like, hey, like, can you give me this thing that I've been needing or something like that, right? And you're like, oh yeah, sure, sorry, no worries.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's just super like casual and it's comfortable.
You know what
When
rides that
people-
same wave? Something that rides that same wave
Let's
is
go.
when you are close with someone and then like y'all don't talk for a while.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
And then they're like, I'd love to like meet up and get coffee. I'm like, girl,
Are we not past
We've
coffee?
just been, like, you were, like, living in my house and, like, watching movies, like, every day, all day with me. Like, why? Just
Right.
come over.
Like, ask me
What
about
are you
my
doing?
rash immediately.
Like,
Like,
what-
we're friends. Yeah. When people get, like...
You're, like, taking, like, we've taken 65 steps forward. We're taking a million steps back.
Yep,
Why?
Yep. It doesn't make any sense to
or
me.
even
either.
if even if it's a confronting conversation, and you want to go somewhere that's like, not saying that like having a sensitive conversation in public isn't like safe, but also like it's okay. This is mainly because I had an experience with someone that I was living with where I had we needed to have a conversation, and they wanted to meet at a coffee shop. And I was like,
You were currently living
babe, I'll
with
see
them?
you at home. We live, because this is in my brain. I'm like, so we're gonna both get in our cars, drive to a coffee shop, have an awkward conversation. It doesn't even have to be awkward. It's literally just be honest in your conversation with me and we'll move on.
And then go to
we're about
bed
to get
2
back
feet
in our
apart.
cars. No, not even yet. We have to get back in our cars, drive to the exact same house, get out of our cars, walk inside, and then go to our separate bedrooms and go to bed.
Yeah, about 5 feet apart.
Just come home. Let's just come home. I'll
just hash
throw
it
a
out.
pod on, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
this is my safe space. Okay, well, we're safe. Let's talk. If this is your safe space, then let's use the safety of your safe space.
I think pet peeves is
You know what I mean?
cathartic for us. We need to keep going
Yeah.
on this. What else pisses you off? Let's think. I'm really just not doing well lately with I think communication is important. The assumption that communication has occurred when it hasn't.
That's just miscommunication.
Yeah. And also the inability to take blame. That's more what I'm. That's more what I'm getting to. Yeah. The like inability to hold yourself accountable.
Accountability, yeah.
Like when you're like when someone comes to you and they were like, "This happened," instead of being like, "I was wrong," you like wiggle around it. So painful for me to watch too. And like. That nothing gets me more secondhand embarrassed than when someone's doing something to my face that I can just like see what's going on.
That's the
in its
same way I
entirety.
feel about the passiveness. It's like kind of in that same wheelhouse.
I get embarrassed,
You know what I mean?
dude.
Yeah.
And secondhand
especially if other
embarrassment.
people are there and they're like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And they call them out, and they're like, and you're like, "Man,
it makes
should have
me,
just
like,
been
wanna-
honest.
Yeah, it makes me want to
Should
crawl
have just
into
been
a
straight up."
Yeah. And there's like an immaturity to that as well.
Yeah,
to
there
like
is.
not want to, because it's like, I don't know. I'm not perfect. I'm not pretending I'm
No.
perfect. But like when I'm upset about something, I know that I need to be away from the situation to process it, so that, and then that like there needs to be like if there's going to be awkwardness, I'm not good with that. It just doesn't resonate with me at all. So I'd rather have the conversation before I'm
Right.
even in a social setting.
Yeah.
Like I cannot like people who like are beefing with someone but in the same friend group, and then they like still hang out with everyone but
Right.
make it weird. Like
Yeah.
it's just
like
my
have the
skin.
conversation.
It makes me want to
already.
scratch my teeth.
Right.
It's so painful.
Dude, I've been in that situation, and I like intentionally got drunk because I just was not like we hadn't had a talk yet,
Yeah.
and I was like, "They're coming. I literally can't do this. I'm plastering myself to the
and,
wall."
and I'm getting better these days about like 'cause
that
I
was
don't-
not healthy of me or good, but
Yeah,
and
yeah,
eventually
yeah.
I did have the conversation. But
Totally.
you
And
know
it's,
what I mean.
it's rare for me to like have beef with anyone these days.
Yeah,
Because I'm
yeah,
also
yeah.
like, man, I might need to learn how to like farm soon because society might collapse. Like, I'm not worried
Yeah.
about like.
I've killed
what
every
you
plant I've ever
subtweeted.
owned, so I might need to tap into your vegetable garden, whatever
I
you
am
figure out.
not. I don't have a green thumb, bestie.
Okay.
We're
well,
done.
maybe there's a robot somewhere that can
Maybe
do it
we
on
can
Amazon.
like do like maybe we'll handle the sheep.
Sheep.
We'll handle the sheep.
And they produce milk.
Maybe we'll handle the cows.
The cows. You know?
We'll
Yeah,
handle the
I
cows,
think
yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
definitely
Don't give me
makes
your
sense.
leaves. Give me your so flora's the one that's the flora and fauna. Flora is the plants, fauna is the
From
wildlife.
like Tinkerbells?
No, just like the
Pixie
scientific
fairies?
terms. Flora and fauna. You know what I mean?
Dude, those
Like when
are
they're talking
literally
about, like-
Tinkerbell's friends' names. I'm
Wait,
pretty
that's
positive.
even cuter then.
I know.
Because that's like
I know.
scientific terms.
I think it is.
That's really cute.
I think so. I could totally be wrong, but I'm pretty
that
sure.
was such a good example of an organic interaction between you and me. Of me being like, but science, and you're like, I think that's from Tinkerbell.
Yeah, I think that's Disney.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. No, I think another another pet peeve is when people hold, like, I can keep up with the joke. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking like deprecating jokes where it's like you're knocking on like someone, like you're just like you're
roasting
someone,
okay,
like, and I can like play along and like, you know, I can dish it back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But after a while, it's like,
do you hate
it's
me?
like, okay, hold up, like, pause. Can we pause? Like, white flag. Do you still like me?
Yeah.
Are we still friends? And it's like, yeah. So like, I think a pet peeve of mine is when jokes run for too long.
Gotcha.
And too hard and I'm not talking like in one day. I'm talking like it would have to be. I'm a pretty patient person, and like I feel like I'm an understanding person. I try to like give people the benefit of the doubt and like take the time to hear their side. But if all I'm hearing from your side every single time we meet is how stupid
joke?
I am, I'm like,
you're like, I don't think you like me.
I'm like, you're starting to kind of hurt my feelings. I'm like, okay, can we stop this game real quick? I need a water break. I need a water break. I'm like, ref, like, coach, tap me out, please.
Yeah.
Like, someone else.
And also, when people intentionally do stuff that, like, is not good for them, and then they're like, but you know, that's just how I am. I'm like, shut up.
Right.
What? Are you kidding me? They're like, I didn't eat for 3 days and I haven't slept. Oopsies. I'm like, what? Get out! Like, I'm so annoyed. Like,
yeah, like you're throwing yourself into the pits of danger. Like the mouth of the gator, you're riding the sharp razor-edged teeth of this alligator, and you're confused on why you're getting sliced and diced.
And like you're proud, more or less.
Right,
like,
it's like you're trying to make it. Yeah.
And I'm like, are you insane?
Right. Like definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just people who aren't self-aware about how obviously their life choices are affecting them, and then they like turn around and they act like, what? Whoa!
Yeah. Now I'm gonna start giving direct examples of things that have happened in my life that annoy me. So, I have a person in my life, in some context that we will not name, that every time I involve this person in anything, it could be from like something like a project to like what I'm gonna go get for lunch. Anytime they are involved, it gets 100% more complicated than it was before. And it's because I don't think they understand anything.
Dude.
There are certain people that I'm like, how
can you unlock your phone real quick? I need to look something up.
Yeah, there's certain people that I'm like, how have you not died? How have you, like, the other day, my neighbor, like, across the street, like, actually down the street, that doesn't matter. The other day, my neighbor comes out of her house. I'm, like, watching out my window because I work from home and I can see out my window, like, all the time.
Yeah.
I watch her walk to her mailbox. I think I've told this story before. I watch her walk to her mailbox. She opens the mailbox and then hits herself in the face with the mailbox door. That woman can vote. Think about that. Think about that. How did we...
Yeah.
And I get, like, it's a fluke moment. Like, everyone has those
and
moments.
You know what?
But I wasn't having it that day.
Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions, and you're going to tell me if the person that you are thinking of has these traits.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
All right. Hold on.
This is going to be juicy, actually.
Exaggerated sense of self-importance.
Absolutely.
Sense of entitlement, require constant excessive admiration.
Sense of entitlement, a little bit, require constant excessive admiration, yes.
Do they exaggerate like their achievements or their talents?
Yes.
Yes. Do they fantasize about success, power, brilliance?
I don't know. Maybe, probably, knowing this person.
In whatever they're doing. Yeah. They believe they are superior, and can only associate with equally special people.
That I don't know. I can confidently say I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Look down on people they perceive as inferior.
Yeah. Seen examples of that, yes.
Expect special favors and unquestioning compliance with their expectations.
Yes.
Did they take advantage of others to get what they want?
You could say yes. Yeah. Is this a narcissism test?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. We can cut that out if you
No,
want.
no, no. Yeah, it is. But
I was like, I've been
do they
to enough
become
therapy to
impatient
know.
or angry when they don't receive special treatment?
Yes.
Have difficult regulating emotions and behavior?
Yes.
Experience major problems dealing with stress and adapting to change?
I don't know about that. Maybe, but we're hitting like 9 out of 10 in terms of
Behave in an arrogant or haughty manner. Haughty manner, coming across as conceited, boastful, and pretentious.
Yeah.
Envious of others and believe others envy them.
I don't know, but probably, yeah. Safe to say.
Yeah, these are symptoms of someone who's a narcissist.
Yeah.
Narcissistic personality disorder. From the mayoclinic.org.
If you have someone that gives you the ick and you answer those questions to be yes, you got a narcissist on your hands. Surprise.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you found a narcissist. Is it possible to not be a narcissist, but just be so negligent, stupid, and have such a low self-worth that you exhibit a lot of qualities of a narcissist? Because that's kind of what I think.
I think there's a lot of different traits that people may have that are not necessarily positive ones. Like, I don't think being narcissistic is a positive trait to have. Agreed, or a disordered or right. Diagnosis to receive. But also I think that a lot of these diagnoses parallel or even intersect. So sometimes they're hard to obviously if we're not a profession, which we aren't professionals, to kind of pin down.
Right.
But I do think that I think anyone at any point in time can exhibit these behaviors, but it's more just the consistency. Right. And I think being in a stressful environment with someone that is like that, where these may flare up more often and more consistently is something that will work to your advantage to be able to point out or to notice flags about that type of person. So it's super interesting.
Yeah, that was actually a really good idea. Yeah, I when it comes to this person, it's there's, or maybe just people in general, what my final pet peeve that I have to offer, and then I invite you to join me with the final one, is let's say something goes wrong. And this pet peeve is a behavior exhibited by a person.
Mine's going to be a behavior as well. I'm holding my thought in my brain.
So slay of you. Let's go. So let's say something goes wrong, and I'll make this quick. Let's say something goes wrong, and you're involved, not the cause, but you're just involved in the case, right? And the situation. And the person who is trying to resolve it immediately comes at everyone involved with an accusatory energy. There's never been something that has happened to me that is so and I'm so privileged to even say that, but I don't think I've ever had something, especially in a work thing or not catastrophic in any way, where I've been I need to start pointing fingers immediately. Right.
Typically
I need to
pointing
assume
fingers is a deflective thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's defensive.
All these sum up to a person who so desperately needs other people to acknowledge them, and they cannot be wrong.
Okay, that is literally...
It's so painful to watch.
Look at that. That was mine.
Was that? I'm sorry,
it's literally no, but it's great because it segues into it. I think it I totally agree with you. Where it's if I. This is why I think it irks me so much. I want to hear everyone's side. I want to be able to hear. I want to allow everyone to speak and to try to take everyone's side and opinion and experience and emotions into consideration before I start to jump on a bandwagon.
Which
for,
is emotional maturity.
Which is I want to be able to fully assess a situation before I decide whatever choice I'm going to make, whether I have a choice to even hold or make or have or whatever.
Right.
But when it's a situation where, let's say that I've done something intentionally or unintentionally, most of the time it's unintentionally, where I'll do something that I didn't know, whether it hurt someone's feelings or I didn't acknowledge someone or I didn't do something or whatever, where someone is coming to me and telling me that I did all these things that hurt them unintentionally, but they acknowledge that it was unintentional. And I'm okay. But then from after listening to them, when I go to elaborate on, to give them some perspective on maybe why I made the choices that I did or why I responded the way that I did, if you're gonna sit and like let me go and explain my side and think that I'm not crediting you your emotions. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
That's annoying. Like,
It is.
you expect me to sit and receive your anger towards me, but when I try to receive, like, to hand you back maybe a little bit more of an insight as to my intention or which was completely not what it's just basically a character. If you're assuming something about my character that I am like, I have consistently displayed to you, that it's like these things that you're saying that I did with the intentions that you think that I'm coming from, but because they're not accurate, or if they are not like in line with how I operate or how I like choose to make choices for myself, and like even in my emotional states, I feel like I've, you know, if we're having this type of conversation, more than likely you've been side by side with me long enough to have experienced with me plenty of them to know like what's kind of typical of me.
Right.
And so to like place something completely out of the blue and off the wall onto me not only makes me feel like you don't know who I am,
right.
but it also kind of is you doing the exact same thing you're accusing me of. Because you're sitting here saying like, I'm going to tell you everything that I feel like you did to me. And when I apologize. I'm like, I am so sorry. I did not even mean to do that. This is really what I was trying to do. And this is like my thought and my heart and whatever. And if you're going to flip that on me and tell me that I'm like mansplaining to you, or like or womansplaining, I don't know, whatever. Sure. Or that I'm like just not like validating your feelings for yourself. And that's like, if you truly just wanted me to like not apologize and just let you like tell me how I made you feel and like not do anything about it or try to like make you understand what was going on, then you probably should have just said that before. But also I just don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
And that's annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
I hear that.
you know.
Assuming is not, they say assuming makes an ass out of you and me. Mm-hmm. That's what they say.
That's how it's spelled.
And is that where that joke comes from?
Yeah, ASSUME.
That's exactly what
makes an ass out of you and me. Assume.
You're a genius.
No, I'm not. Whoever
She's
made the
a
joke is a
genius.
genius.
No, Abby invented that. That's so crazy. That's so crazy.
No, I didn't. But I do think that those peeves paralleled with each other.
Completely.
Like, it's literally the exact same thing.
It really is, yeah. And just in general, I was going to say something I can't remember.
It's being honest and being like, literally just being willing to hear the other person's side and not allow it to, maybe actually, yes, allow it to affect the way that you feel about the situation.
Yeah.
Take someone's, hear what someone's saying.
Yeah.
And allow it to like maybe open your mind into like a truer understanding of the actual situation that you're in instead of being blinded by your own emotions.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Not everyone's capable of that. It takes a level of emotional maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
not saying that you can't still be upset, but like to like completely discredit the whole especially if it's a minor situation.
Yeah, I think what you said about projecting is also something that's really true, and that's why I tend to try to be so careful when I am like complaining or like listing pet peeves like this, because I'm like, maybe some of the stuff that irks me in other people is what's something I need to work on in myself. You know what I mean?
But I think that applies to everything. Everyone can apply that's what I'm saying is like all these things at some point in our lifetime we will exhibit some sort of like characteristic of that, and it's literally just being aware of yourself and having little check-ins and check yourself.
It's so important, and that's something that's like been a really big theme for me lately in therapy, is just like discernment. You know, like how do I know? Am I overthinking? Like, am I don't know. Y'all probably know from like watching a couple episodes at this point that my mind works in like crazy circles.
Yeah,
we have that in common.
I verbally process too.
Totally.
So like it
I have to
sounds
write it.
like you're like, I need to go away and like sit and process something. I do that, but I also like, I can't just sit in my own thoughts and process that way. Like I have to like either be talking it out with someone. So typically I'll do that with Drew.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like, okay, like, am I crazy? Like, this is what's going on.
Right.
This is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on.
That perspective helps.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh,
yeah.
okay. And then I'm able to go back into the situation. And even sometimes during the conversation, I'll be processing and maybe saying, like, talking myself through it, not necessarily talking to the person. Like, most of the time I am, but also, like, sometimes, and I'm sure on this podcast you'll get a lot of that where I'm trying to explain something and I'm figuring it out as I'm going. And
That's
I'm like,
fun, though.
you know, I don't script my responses.
Yeah. This is fun.
So, yeah.
I like doing this.
Yeah.
I think we can cut that out, but this is great. This is we're living the dream. There was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but I'm trying to think what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I just want to talk. I wanted to incorporate this week because, and this is going to be a really quick bit.
No, I don't.
You know who Whitney Cummings is. So I'm going to talk about Whitney Cummings, and then I'm going to talk about ghosts.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm really bad with names, but I'm good with faces or like descriptions maybe. What are they known for?
She's a comedian.
Okay, I just need a face. Then.
And she was on the NBC show Whitney, and she wrote for Two Broke Girls.
Oh, I've seen her picture before, but I don't know if I've listened.
Woman, so I get that.
I don't think I've heard her before.
This is her podcast. She's on so Whitney Cummings is like a towards the top of the list of celebrity crushes.
Okay.
Towards like the very top, almost.
Okay. What like makes her that for you?
First of all, she's funny. Her comedy's brilliant. I mean, she's a comedy legend. Like, nobody, like people are doing. That's okay. That's okay.
I'm so sorry.
She's like a real stand up. You know what I mean? Like and like she's on that stage and she's
breaking
doing
the stereotypes about women not being funny.
That too. Okay. That too. Yeah, her podcast is amazing, and she has like a nice blend of like her being funny and talking about stuff, but also she has like neurologists and like physicists on. Like she talks about interesting stuff.
To be fair, it really is hard to find women comedians that actually are funny. Like, and I truly have that opinion. I truly do. Like, I truly see why people are like, yeah. Like, you sit and watch, like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just not enough women that are actually funny that are, like, doing comedy, I feel like. When it comes to, like, side by side, obviously men have been doing comedy for a lot longer. But, like, the shows that men, like, Netflix comedy, what do they call them? Showcases?
Comedy specials.
Specials.
Yeah.
Netflix comedy specials. I'll watch, like, 3 or 4 guy ones before, like, some of the ones that were girls that I watched, like, if I had to choose, I would have watched the guys.
We can unpack
it's just a person. It's just like, obviously each person has their own style.
For sure, yeah.
But I don't know why. It's just like, some of the women, most of the women comedians that I watch are just like not hitting for me.
I gotta be recklessly honest on this.
It doesn't have anything to do with gender. It just coincidentally, all of the women that I've watched, or at this, like, I don't know. I can't think of any. I'm not good at names either. So like, if I were to watch one that I was like, whoa. I don't even know if I would remember their name.
I think collectively in society, we are entering this place, and this probably always was true, where I just really think that persons of color are funnier than white people. Just like
makes sense.
Overall,
they have more trauma,
and so
they can build
when
more
you look at like
content,
the realm of like female comedians right now, a lot of white girls. Yeah. And I think
that makes sense. Why it's like kind of like, okay. Maybe funny for one person.
Maybe like white people should stop doing comedy a little bit. Like,
a little bit.
like maybe like let's just back off a bit. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I love her.
Anyway, so yeah, Whitney Cummings.
She's so just
she's doing
like
great. I'll have to watch her.
She's great. And you know, like I'm not her number one fan, but I think she's great.
I'll tell you what, I'll watch a special and then next week I'll give you my opinion.
I'm very attracted to her, right?
Yeah.
So she had Kate Siegel from
gosh, I'm so bad with names.
She's in Midnight Mass. She's in Haunting of Hill House. She's in Haunting of Bly Manor.
Who does she play in Haunting of Hill House?
She plays like the Lady of the Lake in Bly Manor. Yeah.
I love it.
She's
I did a shoot based on that.
What is that character's? And she plays Theodora in Hill House.
Oh my gosh, yes. No, I love her. No, okay, yes,
I love her.
She's amazing. She's
also
was in Time Traveler's Wife. She plays dude's mom. Yes.
She was on Whitney's podcast. They went to high school together. They both grew up together in Washington, D.C.
I love it.
And Whitney posted, which I'll put up on the screen, like she shared this photo of them in high school together.
Oh my my goodness. Who's the little dude in the center?
I have no clue who the dude in the center is.
okay.
Probably just some guy that's there. Shout out
Look
to
at
that
their
guy.
fits. I love Times Capsule pictures where it just
Something about
embodies.
this photo of Whitney Cummings, I'm telling you, I would risk it
They
all.
look very similar. Well,
They do
I'll
look
tell you what.
similar, yeah.
Whitney Cummings in this picture looks very much like how, what's her name? The other girl?
Kate Siegel.
Kate Siegel. She looks very much how I feel like Kate Siegel looks right now, especially in the way that her hair is styled. I feel like
Yeah.
if they were to style their hair the exact same, they would almost look just like sisters.
When I look at this photo, Whitney Cummings is giving high school bully. She's giving like
Popular,
head cheerleader.
pretty girl,
She's
yeah.
like, I'm into that. I'm
Okay.
into this woman right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
And I just like saw this photo on the pod. I was just like working and watching.
Yeah.
And I was like just having a little work day, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, I love Kate Siegel. I love the like Good
Yeah.
For You podcast. Let me watch this episode. And then that photo comes up and I'm feral for the rest of the day. I have to like take a cold shower. I have to like take a nap.
feral.
I am a wild animal at that
Oh
point. Yeah,
my
so
gosh.
hopefully she sees this.
That's so
I also
funny.
commented on her TikTok one time, like one of her TikToks calling her mommy, and she like
You-
liked the comment.
Oh, really?
And that was like,
I thought you
just
meant
screaming.
I thought you meant that the video you watched was like call her mommy, like Cal gets like call her daddy. And I was like, dang, she
imagine?
makes a call her mommy podcast? Like, that's interesting.
we're renaming our podcast. We're rebranding. Anyway, so the ghost thing, right?
Yes. Oh,
So-
speaking of Haunting of Hill House, let's segue into the ghosties.
Oh, speaking of Haunting of Hill, remember when I like yelled segue at the top of my lungs on the pod last week? And,
No.
And I cut that out because I was like, if any of y'all hear that noise.
you said caution, headphone listeners. Is that what you were talking about?
I said segue.
No, I know, but you said it, and then you were like, "That
Oh,
was really
yeah.
loud." Warning, headphone users.
I told him I was going to cut it out, and I did.
You did.
I bleeped it, and I put over my mouth redacted. and so I anyway, I don't even know why I'm bringing that up. So I've been watching a lot of ghost hunting
Okay,
on the internet.
like YouTube
And on the
specifically.
YouTube specifically, yes. You know me. And my favorite channel, one of my favorite channels is, they're called Mackie and Amanda. Amanda's a medium, and she's vibing.
She's wacky,
She's,
wacky Mackie. Is she though?
no, she's not. She's like, they're both from like Southern California. They're just
Her
like
name's Mackie?
Her name's Mackie. Probably short for Mackenzie, I imagine, right? Isn't that what Mackie? I don't know.
Mackenzie's because she's
Mackenzie.
not wacky.
That can sense when we've been filming for a while. Like we just go ballistic. But anyway, I love their channel.
Okay.
Amanda's a really talented like psychic medium. Like she's like really good at what she does. And they just put out content that's like really cute. Like because it's like their friendship.
They
is
just pick cute
spotlighted.
ghosts to interview.
I realized I said cute. You know when you're talking and then you're like, I'm talking out
You're
loud.
like, all right.
It showcases their friendship. It showcases Amanda's abilities. And what am I talking about? Oh, and they're good ghost hunters is the point
Okay.
I'm making. So here's something that I've noticed. Whenever they capture something that's like really scary, specifically like audio stuff, like they'll like do a like voice recording session, or they'll have something come through like the spirit box. Are you familiar with these things? Yeah. And they hear it and it's like either really relevant or like it's probably good evidence and it scares them, right? Like they capture like a growl or something like truly genuinely scary. So when they hear something that scares them,
Yeah.
Mackie will be like, ew, that's her instinct. Yeah, and it's
I
kinda
love that.
funny,
It's kinda like that's so
but then I was watching I was watching Ghost Hunters and then I was watching Ghost Adventures and I noticed like sometimes there's some people whose gut reaction to something scary is to be like, ew, is to be grossed out.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that and why do you think that is? That's my question.
I don't feel grossed out.
I don't either.
I think it's just the reaction to the feeling of like that chill feeling that you get when something
Probably.
is super next level. Maybe that you like bit off a little more than you could chew, or like it's getting
That's-
a little too real.
That's probably exactly what it is. Yeah.
And it's like ew. Oh, it's like
Yeah.
kind of interchangeable.
Totally.
With
It
like,
intrigued me that they
oh.
were like gross. And that's
Right.
probably not what they're actually thinking.
I think it depends on also the research that they've done and like the situation that they're in. Like if you're like, let's say you're in like an abandoned insane asylum.
Okay.
Insane asylum, and you know that like this specific ghost has been like said and told to like roam these halls and this is what happened to them. And
Yeah.
if it was something incredibly gory or like,
Right.
or maybe they were doing the like horrible things and they had this like specific trait about them or whatever.
Okay.
And then you hear something that like parallels that and it's like just as gross or it's like, it's not just like this is that person. It's like they're immediately jumping to like their like fixation at if that thing were living again. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
to where it's like just hitting straight to the bone stuff.
Interesting,
It's
yeah.
more like and it could, again, like every situation is different or whatever, but I do think that the initial reaction isn't necessarily that it's like, ew, gross. I think it's more of like just a triggered response that
Yeah.
like this is like, I feel this in my sacrum in the back of my like lowest vertebrae. It's like,
Totally.
why is this?
It's so visceral.
I'm clenching.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Them cheeks are clenched. Let me tell you about these
Clamped.
cheeks. These cheeks are
Clamped
clamped
and
shut.
I am running.
Ain't nothing getting in there. No, and perhaps it's like your brain is intaking and processing like such intense information so fast.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you think
Also,
to say.
if you think about like how quiet it is for the majority of the time that they're in there, and you're only seeing what's like cut, like the interesting bits put together.
Right,
Like if you're
true.
just sitting there in silence for 5 hours, and then all of a sudden, like you just get a quick hit straight to the bone.
Yeah, I'd
it's
also be like, gross. Yeah.
like whoa.
What is your
You know
like
what I mean?
organic like noise or like reaction when something is shocking? Because, and I ask you this because I found out that my organic noise for
In what like emotion does
that's
it
a good
inflict
point.
in?
I suppose it varies on the emotion. Maybe just genuine shock or just
Shock,
like
not fear.
give
Like
me,
if I'm
give me both.
scared, if something like let's say jump scare,
Okay.
like you're at a haunted,
love me a
haunted
jump scare.
house, or
I
like
love
a
me a
scary
jump scare.
walk through, like haunted hayride,
Yeah.
and like the little scarecrows plop down from the ceiling of the barn, and
That's
the first
very
thing that
sweet
comes out of
innocuous,
the first word that comes out of my mouth is probably like frick, and I'm not kidding you. That is like my go-to.
So you're gonna say something? Do you fight or flight?
yeah,
Or
or
are you
it's
gonna
like
try
a-
to hit it? Yeah.
It's like
Well, I found out because I was in the lake one time and a dragonfly tried to land on my head, and I realized that I made like a noise that was so organic it came straight from my like guttural like soul.
you made one of those a couple episodes ago.
I did that. I
Yeah.
did that, unfortunately. But no, this was like a fear one and like a shock one. And I realized after I did it that like this is the noise I'm gonna make if I ever like if someone ever's like, I'm gonna stab you.
You know
and the
what?
noise was, and I quote, "Whoa!"
So did you know, I don't know if you know this about me, but I hallucinate at nighttime. Like, it's basically when I've been asleep. I have to have been asleep. And
Like
if
sleep
something,
paralysis.
like, no, like I can move. Like, I'm like a sleepwalker talker situation, but like, most of the time it's like if I'm asleep and like the TV's on, or like let's say I'm in the living room, and this is an example. I'm in the living room and let's say me and Drew are watching something and I fall asleep during the movie, but something happens in the movie that's like a loud bang or like something brings my brain to the surface again to where I'm not in that dream state anymore, but my eyes are open and I'm processing things that are like real time, like you would be sitting here and we're here in this room, but my sleep brain hasn't fully turned off yet. So my brain makes up stuff and I will still see things for probably about 30 seconds after I'm awake until it like fades out.
That's so spooky. Wow.
And so I've
What
had
if you're just seeing
experiences.
what's actually there and you just can't see it normally?
There was this, well, I don't think so, because like sometimes I'll see like baskets floating or like it's like really random things, or like I'll see a spider or like one time I woke up and there were like roses all over my room, like Kylie Jenner like style, where it's like covering everything, and I thought Drew had like snuck over in the middle of the night and like put all these flowers everywhere, and like I was like gonna cry. It was so sweet, and then they just like faded away.
What a bummer. Because
No,
then
I
you're
know.
like,
It was literally
the whole thing, and
like,
you're like, I'm
literally
dumping my
there.
boyfriend.
But there was one time though where I was in Atlanta with my mom and my sister, and we were staying at this place that we typically stay when we go there, and in the middle of the night we had been watching some kind of like new true crime series, but we had fallen asleep and everything was off. But my mom had a cough, and so in the middle of the night she like coughs because she's got one, and it wakes me up. And we had just been watching some like crazy stuff, so obviously my brain, I open my eyes and there's a man in the corner of the room, and he like runs towards me, and when I say that, I get up out of my bed, and I'm like, oh, and I like jump over my sister, and I'm like hiding behind the bed. I'm like, oh my god, and my mom's like, what? And my sister's like, don't do that, like what's going on? And
there's nothing.
There was nothing there. There was nothing there. But it's happened where it's people a lot. And there was an actual time where I was in the living room and I fell asleep when we were watching a show, and I woke up and there was a woman at the side door, like where you typically come in, but she was like knocking, and I was like, come in. I was like, hey. I was like, come on. And Drew's looking at me like, what are you talking? I'm like,
That's
there's
so
a woman
scary.
she wants to come in. I'm like, come on. She was like an old woman. She had fully had my trust. Like, I don't know what, again, sleep brain. You don't think, in your dreams, like you do things that you don't typically would do.
Best to come on
I
in.
said, I already know her, I think. Like, I'm pretty sure she also had a Phantom of the Opera mask on. That didn't faze me. I literally like it was completely normal in my mind.
She's knocking. You're like, girl, get in. What are you knocking for?
We got snacks. And Drew's like, don't do that. He's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, it's the woman. And she was gone.
And the door wasn't even there.
Oh, thanks for watching.
That was good.
See you in my dreams.
That was cute.